we need to understand. So for data analysis, we have text analysis. We have the statistical analysis. This is always the common one. Okay, when we do about data analysis, we always relate them, link them with statistics knowledge, statistical analysis. There are also actually diagnostic analysis, predictive analysis, and prescriptive analysis. Okay, so there are a lot of things. There are many more. This is just 5, but actually when we talk about new knowledge, just like blockchain just now, there will be more new knowledge coming in. Yeah, so this is not just the only 5 available. Okay, but for study purposes, you should know on this. Okay, so the most common one is the statistical analysis, right? The text analysis is when we do the issues on um, social sentiment. Okay, so we do that, especially when we see how people communicate through text. Okay, we do not know whether when they write something they are angry or upset. Yeah, so that's where the text analysis comes in. Okay, right. So in this slide, the data analysis process, yeah, is the process of data decision, data collection, and then there is the cleaning of the data, and then the analysis, data interpretation, and data visualization. Yeah, Um, all of these are being done um, at the beginning. They are being done step by step, stage by stage. Yeah, but um, recently these activities can be done concurrently with the help of high performance computers. Yeah, but if you ask me personally, it is good to go and take them step by step, but we use the waterfall model where we can repeat what we have done previously and make a better decision. Yeah, so the process of data analysis is good to do stage by stage, but with the improvement in technology nowadays, you can do this concurrently. Okay, and of course, when we talk about data, we cannot avoid going through the quantitative data and the qualitative data. Okay. So what is the quantitative data? This is basically the descriptive analysis. A few example, we can have the mean or the numerical average, the median, yeah, the midpoint, the mode or the most common value available. And we also can have the percentage or the ratio as a fraction of 100, frequency, yeah, the number of occurrence, and the range, the highest and the lowest value. Okay, so the first level of analysis, this helps researcher find absolute numbers to summarize individual variables and find patterns. Okay, inferential analysis is complex analysis showing the relationship between multiple variables to generalize the result. Yeah. So example for this for this multiple variable, correlation, regression, analysis of variance. Yeah. So all of these are in statistics. Yeah? Correlation is describe the relationship between two variables. Regression shows or predict the relationship between two variables. Yeah? So it is not a single one. So this is quantitative data analysis. And in this slide, it is to show the four-step process for quantitative data validation. You must make sure that the data is correct or validated. From what? From fraud, screening, procedure, and completeness. What does fraud mean? Infer whether each respondent was actually interviewed or not. Yeah, sometimes they are not actually interviewed, or the question of the interview was being adjusted. Yeah? Um, Screening. Make sure that respondents were chosen as per the research criteria. Yeah. Example, um, bamboo visualization in the forest. My team must make sure that we interview the proper people who knows about bamboo tree and the area of the forest that we are studying in. Okay, we cannot just find people who does not have this criteria. Next one is the procedure. Check whether the data collection procedure was duly followed. Yeah, you have a procedure, or in scientific term, experiment. If you do an experiment, you must follow the steps. So this is the same, a procedure. You must follow the procedure step by step. You should not skip one step off from the procedure. Yeah. So procedure is you must make sure that the data collected follow the steps that has already been assigned to. Completeness. Ensure that the interviewer asks the respondent all the question rather than just a few required ones. Yeah. This is again all related. If you can see this, all these four relates to humans. Yeah. Humans relates to um, fraud, right? Respondent. Yeah. Screening again relates to the respondent and the people who are taking the interview. Yeah? So all of these, the main actors are human. So if you have a very good data processing technique or approach, but when there are humans involved, your data cannot be 100% correct. Yeah? So do you think we can avoid this? We cannot actually, right? We need to have humans interaction. Yeah. So that's why when we have this issue, you talk and produce your findings to other people. They can ask questions which usually may be right. Yeah, because when human being involved, the validation of the data collected is questionable. Okay, right. So that is quantitative. Sorry, that is quantitative data. All right. Next, we go to the preparation of that quantitative data. How do we prepare the data so that we can analyze? Right. Again, this relates to human as well. Yeah. So in preparation of data, familiarity with the data is important. Yeah, start by reading the data several times to get familiar with it and start looking for basic observation or patterns. Right? You need to get the feel of that particular issue and what sort of data that you should be identifying and collect. Revisit research objectives. Again, this must be done repeatedly, yeah, because when you are involved in the stage of data collection, sometimes you get too excited and you tend to forget the objective of your research. Okay, because when you found some data, you have other information. So this makes you excited, because from there you know that you can do something else. So you can do something else, maybe in another project, but try to complete it with this particular project. So you must revisit your objective. Develop a framework. Yeah. Identify broad ideas, concept, behavior, or phrases, and assign codes to them. Yeah. This is helpful for structuring and labeling data. So you need to have a framework. Identify them and label the data. Yeah. And then identify the pattern as well, because you have big data. Yeah. You need to know the patterns and the connection. Yeah, starts identifying them, looking for the most common responses to questions, identifying data or patterns that can answer research questions, and finding areas that can be explored further. So, in the simple term, qualitative data, quantitative data relates with data that play around with values and figures, but collecting the data relates with the help of humans, and that's where some of the data need uh, to be can be questioned, right? The next one is the qualitative data methods. Okay, this is about the content analysis, the narrative analysis, discourse analysis, thematic analysis, and the grounded theory. So methods can overlap and may be similar, right? Because you are talking about something that relates to figures, yeah, qualitative. So they tend to overlap because they are quite similar with each other. Okay. So this is the steps of qualitative data analysis. Number one, organization of the collected data. Always like this. Yeah, you need to make sure that you collect the data and organize them properly. Transcribe the interview, translate the data, record the details, so on. Hmm? So you need to organize them. Otherwise, you will have at the first stage here you will have problems because the data are not being collected.